it is prudent that we talk about the census night, but also we are talking about a lot more that you need to know about the National Population and Housing Census of 2024. I remember, I think the first census, national census that was carried out when I was understanding, we used to have a song. I'm not sure of the lyrics, but I think it was, "This is the census, we are counting you," I think something like that. And each time you listen to that, you would know that a census has come. But little did we know that a census was really very, very important. I know even as we speak, there are people who still think this is a political dimension. Some people think maybe the government is doing this for political reasons, and before the end of this show, you will know that it is for our good as Ugandans, as people who dwell on this land, Uganda. Join me as we welcome Mr. Pade Galabuzi. Mr. Pade Galabuzi is a Deputy Census Monitoring and Evaluation for Buganda region, but also he's a district planner of Wakiso district. Mr. Pade, it's a pleasure having you this evening, and a good evening to you.
Good evening. Thank you for the good hospitality. I'm so excited and really to be here on Family TV.
How is the whole arrangement moving on? I know the countdown is over. The long wait is over.
Really,
census is now on the door.
Really, I'm so happy that we have reached. We're almost reaching at the day, which is census night.
Yes.
But first and foremost, I wish to congratulate all the UBOS staff. And also the district local government staff who have been fully engaged in this pre-census activity right away from 4th April to date, because there have been rigorous training of all district census officers, sub-county census officers, and numerators and supervisors up to yesterday. So, but today we are now in another phase. This is the gist of the matter of Census 2024, where our theme is, it matters to be counted.
Sure. We have had videos trending on social media where some alleged census, are they also called enumerators? Who are striking over maybe the allowance and what, have they been sorted? Because we really don't need such at this time, because the day is on. We don't really want to see anyone having issues at this point.
Yes, but not necessarily the one who are going to enumerate or supervisors.
Okay.
We have been engaging a number of stakeholders right here from the listers. We started with listing, and last year, 2023, some people were paid, but because they finished late. Their names, they had not yet been paid to date, but the government, UBOS is making arrangement. And also on the other side, there are some people whom we trained, but they are not going to be part of it, part of us, because we reduced a number of people, because so many people turned up, and the people were not sure that the number they are going to cover. So some of the people were not going to participate, also didn't want to leave before they are paid. So they are mixed up. But in particular, our people have been more than ready.
Okay.
Where I heard it was the Wakiso, where people refused to take oath before they sign the contract. But that one also is being sorted out. We thank the team, this Wakiso, for that, and the cow Wakiso, and all the leaders, including the political leaders.
Okay.
So some of those things were coming up, but they are not at a high level tune, the way people were exaggerating.
So there is no reason for us to fear that there is a problem.
And not only Wakiso, but they are in pockets, but they were being handled.
Okay. That is interesting. Now, we talk about the census night, which is this night. Of course, very many on this very platform, I remember on Monday, you encourage people to stay at home this particular night. And I've seen very many people traveling to go back to their home villages, their country homes, because they want to be counted from there. But what is this census night all about?
Census night, in a simple term, it's a reference night. Reference night is a night which is starting at midnight of today, of tomorrow. Midnight of today, whereby it will be a morning of tomorrow. Today is Thursday, but tomorrow at night, at midnight, that is 10.
At 12 a.m.
12 a.m. Now to be 12.01 of Friday, which will be a public holiday, declared to be a public holiday. That's what we call a reference point, whereby everybody who slept where she is or where he was, will be counted from where that place where he was staying, she stayed that night. And he may be on the same note, people who are whom we call a floating population, they who will be in transit will be counted at night. We shall not wait for them the bloody daylight of the Friday.
So I mean, you're talking about the floating population. We look at people
in
who are
transit.
having their flight in the next hour.
Yes.
So are they going to be counted?
If they are found let me use our Entebbe International Airport, and they are supposed to leave at around 2 a.m. in the morning, so they will be counted before they exit depart from the Uganda. Yeah.
Now I look at someone who is supposed to go in the next hour.
The next hour. No, if
they're supposed to leave at around 10 or 11.
No.
But before midnight.
No, those one will not be counted, provided they depart. Their departure is before midnight.
It's a business trip. They are going and they'll be back in the next 4 days.
Not to be clear. No, because they would have not slept in Uganda.
So I see it is now becoming very serious.
Yes.
Okay.
But we shall get their details, their consent from their respective homes, because they are just on business trip. Even those who,
Now, talking about people who, wherever they sleep, past midnight, today wherever they will be. So is the counting going to start at that time, that they'll be knocking at people's doors that time to see who slept here and how many slept in this house, and then you start on the counting?
No.
How is it going to be?
No, for people who are in transit, like a driver, those who are leaving airport, who arrived at the airport, and the midnight found them there, but they are supposed to move, they will be counted at night. Even street children, people of that caliber, even the people from buses like Kasese to Kampala, from Kampala to Gulu, or trucks, they will be counted at night. And we are making arrangement of labeling, of marking those people where they are starting from. And also we're educating the people. We ask them where they are being they will be stopping. So those one will be counted at night, and we already deployed our enumerators to handle those major routes, especially outside Kampala, who are surrounding of Kampala, exiting Kampala or entering Kampala. But also up country, there are similar arrangement. But the most important thing, we shall also talk to the truck drivers or bus drivers or taxis, that when you are asked where you are going, they will be having a mark that they have been counted. Yeah.
We want you to paint for us the image, because the previous census, population and housing census, people were, information was on paper forms, they ask you, they tick, and then they take a booklet. So we are seeing enumerators carrying booklets and booklets, counting. And today, unlike the previous years, we have seen UBOS deploying tablets to be used. So how is it going to be? Is the information installed in the tablet? Do they still need somewhere where they will tick some information?
Before I reach that, let us first make this one clear.
Okay.
The census night.
Yes.
Census night, as we said, it's a reference period.
Yes.
Whereby tonight I've talked about the floating population. But coming back to the method of work, majorly we shall, when it come to day morning, from around 8 or 7:30, we shall be start knocking people's homes with our guide. And it will be a public holiday. All our children who have been sent back home, and all public service supposed to be at home. But also our business people.
Yeah, the informal sector, because I don't think women in Nakasero here are closing their stores.
Also, we have been mobilizing our informal sector. They should give us time if it's possible. But if it's inevitable, we are requesting them to leave somebody behind who is more knowledgeable about the family, who will be able to give us honest information about the family. And this may be any person above 18 years. But also at the same time, we request those people to leave behind their contacts. If anything we need there to be referred to, we can easily be contacting them or getting an appointment from them. Because some people, much as it could be every day, they want to go for business or what, they can say that maybe the following day will be there. So we are not going to only to count for tennis. That is Friday. So government has given a whole week. Those are 10 days from Friday up tennis up to 19th, Sunday 19th next week. So all that period will be census period. So people shouldn't get scared that if you are not counted on tennis Friday, a public holiday, you will not be counted. So that
was already my fear, because I imagine my brother Mumuza in transmission here, who will be here even tomorrow and maybe leave tomorrow evening. So I was wondering how will he be counted?
Like Mr. Mumuza from Family TV, he has also time when he's not on duty. He can be called, he can make an appointment and tell people that I'll be at this, this is when I will be home. So that if we make an appointment with him, our enumerator will give him, will give him time to be, or date to be counted. Especially workers in the informal sectors and private sectors, including businessmen and businesswomen.
Now
back to the issue of paperwork.
Yes.
Paperwork, now government has gone digital, as you are aware, under our Vision 2040. When you look at NP, National Planning Authority came up with the National Development Plan 3, where there is a whole entire program called digitization. Government has gone digital. You are now seeing we are getting money through cards. We don't move with the money. We use mobile phones. So everything is becoming digital. We have our bigger program, which we call the Parish Development Model. Even the community are getting money through digitization. So back to this point, first in every country, this is the first time we are going to digitize. We have gone digital way of collecting data using our tablets. Tablets, they are just portable computers. Normally people call them copy. That done prior arrangement whereby people's households already entered there. Where they are not, where they are missing, so the arrangement whereby the enumerator has been trained for the past 9 days, how we can add in new houses which are missing. The purpose of doing that is to minimize missing any household, any person being counted. Furthermore, also there are supervisors. At the same time, we have guides. We have guide. We shall be having guides who will be majorly member of chair LC1 executive. Okay. And these are people who are well versed with their villages, with the boundary of their villages, who will be guiding our enumerators. We expect every enumerator having a guide. Even if we deploy 2 enumerators in one village, they will be having different guides, even if they're in the same village, because they will be working on different households. Where we have a enumerator working in more than one LC or village or a cell, then after that cell, we'll be getting another guide of a different LC. We can't allow the guide from one LC to go to another LC which is not his or her territory. So those are some arrangements we've done in advance to ensure that there is smooth management. And those guides will be facilitated, being paid some little facilitation either for buying water or lunch, because they may work for the whole day, and that person will be paid by the enumerator themselves, and they will be having a paper where to acknowledge for the payment, because we have to account for government money. So we thank you, our leaders. I've been in Mubende, I've been in Kasanda. People have already, Mubende municipality, they have, even other areas, they have already talked. Our RDC political leaders in districts, they have already talked to the LSU and they know what to do. And also it's not the first time to work with them. Even during the listing, they were supporting us. So the very way we are doing things, that's how we are going to continue implement the census. Okay. The most important thing that our people are well identified. They have given them a t-shirt with a label, or such a label of Uganda Bureau of Statistics. You can see this.
Like the one you're putting on?
Yes. So that if they see this label, you know that they are coming from there. Others, they have tags with the security kit, whereby if you doubt them, you can use your smartphone to cross-check whether it's a genuine tag. So we've now done a number of measures to ensure that we don't use people don't come in to masquerade that they are also from UBOS. So also security is watching. We have been engaging our security officers, the DPC, the DSOs. They have been trained to see that they monitor also what is going on. So I'm sure that the country is safe. Our enumerators will be safe. There will be no someone who say that this a perimeter wall can't be opened. The gates, all our people will stay in the gates, especially the high-level officers, especially those ones that they are aware of the program. So everyone, I think, there will be a lot of compliance. We've done enough mobilization because also, as every local government, every district in Uganda, they have another structure called the District Census Committee. That one is a publicity committee, right, whereby the key people, stakeholders who sit there, the chairman, LC5, the RDC, the DPC, and the local leaders, and also technical team. So it has been chaired by the accounting officer. Okay. If it's a district, it has been the COW. If it's a municipality, it has been the town clerk. But when to go down, our sub-county chief and town clerks have been chairing, will be chairing that. But they are majorly for publicity. Okay. And these are some of the stakeholders have been the religious leaders, cultural leaders, and also key stakeholders in the community. So, and I'm so happy, let me take this opportunity to thank our religious leader, the Muslim community, the Anglican Church, the Catholic, the Seventh-day, and also the other leaders who have been working with us. They have done a lot of work. I've been to many districts, especially when I went to Buganda North, where we had an issue of cult. These are the people who hide the children and their families not to be counted. But now, the beauty of it, we have been monitoring them. During our other activities like immunization, they've also been hiding the people. So we are more prepared. Even our enumerators, our stakeholders in the community, including leaders, If we see any families hiding away their children, they will be followed up. And I take this opportunity to thank the RDC, religious leader who have been hiding in a number of meetings, especially in Ruwero, Chiboga, Chankwanzi, Nakasongola, Nakaseke, Mitiana, Mubende, and Kasanda. Those are the vulnerable areas for those colored groups. So I'm sure they have done enough arrangement or measures to counteract such acts if they are there. But they have also met their leaders.
At that point, enough arrangement to convince them to comply, or enough arrangement to stop them from spreading their propaganda of false teaching about census?
Earlier on before this, because we have been carrying out government programs like immunization, they have been seeing them. There have been some of those who are so rigged, they have been arrested.
Even in national ID registration, we still had the same issue, where some were telling their congregations not to register for national IDs.
Yes, so they have been monitoring. The beauty of it, let me say that they are known, and you are aware that known enemy is not an enemy. So, especially have been assured by DSOs. They have the DPC police, they have their reports. So they are going to call them, to talk to them, convince them to comply. Unless otherwise, they can use another stronger measure. So that's what made me happy, because this morning I left Kasanda, and we had a number of engagements with RDC, and even yesterday I was in Mitiana and in Mubende. So that has been handled. The past weeks have been in those areas which I've mentioned about. So it's not more worried this time, and I'm sure they are going to work on it. So that's what we think. But coming back to the point, why do we carry out census?
Actually, we are going to talk about why we carry out census. But before we go for the break, I would because you said that for people who can inevitably leave home tomorrow, or maybe they'll not be available at home for the rest of the days in which census will be carried out, that they should leave information with someone they trust that can deliver this information very well. But now someone would ask, which kind of information am I supposed to leave behind?
No, they shouldn't leave information. We wanted a person who is more knowledgeable about the people in the household, especially about how many people in the household, their age, when were they born, and preferably the spouse. Of those, the wives of those people, because the women are more knowledgeable about the age and the names of their children. That's why even the government president directed that all schools should be in holidays. So there will be chance that every child will be found in home. And the other information is major about to affect how these people, issues affecting these people. If they are sick, if they have people with disability. Last time we used to ask a question is that, do you have a disability pass? But this time we go further and ask, which kind of disability? Is it here impairment? Is it seeing impairment, severe one? Are they albino? Do they have another sick disease which are common, especially people hide away, people with who's having challenges? So we shall be talking to them to not hide them, so that they are invited. So we need such a people to be left. We can't say that leave the information behind, but we want someone who is knowledgeable about anybody who is staying in that house.
Ugandans, us Ugandans fear answering questions, and last week a headline in one of the national papers read, census Ugandans to answer 180 questions. Now that is the problem. That is the threat. So someone says, what are they asking? What are all those 180 questions about?
As we said also last time when we were here, they look too many, but they are not really many, for one reason that not all questions will be asked. Some of the questions will be already predetermined. If like I've already talked to asking me your name, I'm Galabuzi Pade, 6 years old and so forth, and my wife and so forth. They can't tell me, are you a man or a woman? So those questions are there. So may not, they are implied.
Okay.
Secondly, the way we ask a question is so logical, whereby even the person will be answering, will be enjoying it, will be a conversation, so that the people will not be in a class, teacher and the student. So they will be in a conversation form. Secondly, I will train our enumerator to be casual and so close to the respondents.
Not so formal and serious.
Yes, not so formal. They should be part of the household. And if you that you are talking to a friend, you are talking to a guest who is really lovely to be talked to. So if we find especially for us, we thought that most of the people will be responding to this question would be the wives in these families. So if you find them they doing housework, you go closer where they are working. You don't sit in the table making a lot of time sitting in the distance reaching. If they are busy doing housework, you can also go and sit closer where they are working from. And then you start to converse. It will be some in form of conversation.
Because I realize some information might even be confidential.
Yeah, and also UBOS has already done a lot of publicity. People knows what is going to be asked. So we have tried as much as possible to counteract propaganda. So people are expecting us when we go there. There are certain things to be asked, questions to be asked, and they are not about anything. They are about our people in the households.
So I look at a situation in a minute, then we shall go for the break. I look at a situation where the person at home is missing out some important information. Do you refer this person that they come back? Do you refer the enumerator and tell them you'll come back tomorrow after I've gathered information, or there is room for me to make a phone call and collect this information?
Both are there. What start with that it's not a must that you should sit and you all much as we encourage that we complete a questionnaire, but also there is opportunity that if a wife has something to consult, she's free to call the husband. Or even the relative, the one who is talking on behalf of the family, is free to consult. And so if we are asking a wife and you see that you've not completed the questionnaire, we can make an appointment and we go back. The beauty with our tablets this time, that most of the information which is there, if you open it, I'm your Muhumuza's family, the name of the household will be there in red. If I worked and complete that questionnaire, that household, it will turn into green to show that it's completed. If has been referred, it will be a yellow. It will be in between. Even me who is supervising anybody or our executive director will be seeing that these households are not yet completed in Kasanda, much as is seated in Kampala. So the supervisor will be monitoring.
That is really very beautiful. We are taking a short commercial break. When we return, we are going to talk about majorly two things. Why is census important? But also there is an issue of foreigners, people who we sometimes think are known to Ugandans. Maybe someone is Congolese, or they come from Rwanda, they come from Somalia. What about them? Are they excluded from the activity, or they are part of the activity? Those are some of the answers we shall come back with after the short commercial break. Please stay with us.
The National Population and Housing Census 2024 is here. Uganda is to conduct the Census 2024 this May to update our population status that will support government to plan for every citizen. The enumeration team is in the field to respond to all the necessary interests by you and me as they register all of us. Note that the Census night is 9th May 2024. Let us all be part of this exercise by working with the enumerators, provide correct data and information information. This exercise is to assist the government in planning government resources properly, provide efficient service delivery, and the formulation of national policies. The enumeration will start on the 10th to 19th, 2024, and the counting will be done at our homes or places of residence. The Census 2024, it matters to be counted. This message is brought to you by Dr. Chris Mukiza, the Executive Director, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and the Government of Uganda.
Welcome back from the break. This time round, I'm excited. Census is something exciting. I mean, it is something you should be part of. But like I said earlier when I was introducing this show, that some of us Ugandans love politicizing everything. So whatever program that the government launches that is political, the government is up to something. The government wants to reach votes. Why does it come at a time when, I mean, sometimes you ask yourself, but I will not judge anyone. Ignorance is not a disease, especially if you choose to learn. We want to know why it is important for us to be counted every after 10 years, because census is not a yearly thing. It comes every after 10 years. So it was 2014 and it is back in 2024. Probably some of you watching us were not yet born, or if you were born, you were too young to even notice that census was taking place. But here is another opportunity, and you need to know why it is important for you to be part of the census. Mr. Galabuzi, what are some of the importances of census? Why should people embrace census with both hands?
First and foremost, it's a statement from our fountain of honor, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, on 12th December 2023, when he was launching the census. He emphasized the 4 points which he wanted from his Vazukuru and all Ugandans, that first and foremost, we wanted to know the number of people in the country, not only in the country, even where they are in the country. This is very important, because if we are to provide the services, we should know which kind of people we are, because different age have different requirement of services. Like our children, the mothers, if it comes to public health care, if it comes to education, If we are giving out money for PDM, we know which people do we have in terms of poverty level. If we are giving money for the elderly, how many people were above the required age for accessing this money for SAGE. And also if we want money for youth livelihood, so that they doesn't go. Even the sex, if we want money to give for the women, how many women do we have in the country? And if you are in a district, how many women do you have in that district? If in the parish, now we are planning based on the parish development model. Now this data is going to be used at parish level. But it's important, it has time coming when we are implementing the parish development model. Most of the activity will be done at parish, and decision taken by the parish. Parish leaders, parish people in the parish, they are the one to determine the services required. So the gap. So it's important to know the number in that parish. If not a parish in that sub-county. Government sends resources from the center when we pass the budget based on the number of people in the district, in the municipality, because these are the people who are accessing money, even the sub-county and town councils. So it's important that we count. Another issue which the president emphasized that where they are. Now we are talking about the fishermen, we are talking about the villages like Karamoja. If we are to get money for parish development, do we still continue giving 100 per parish? When actually in some places they have more people like in Chiboga, Wakiso, Chiengera Town Council, some of the parish there like Kasenge have bigger population than some of the municipalities in the country. If you look at Ulova, I mean Wakiso sub-county, across the district, in Wakiso district. So like if we are giving allocations in the as per districts, Wakiso, as we are talking, we have more than 3 million people as a district. So do we give the same money to another like other districts in the country? So that's why the president and all leaders, including our chairperson of State 5, and also because these are the people who the own of the budget, who plan for their areas. So they need to know how many people do we have. As the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Local Government, they have to know which district have so many people, some number of people. The Minister of Gender, which districts have so many people with unemployed people, even by category. Is it unemployed who are not educated? Are they semi-educated, or they have professors? Some people have graduated. You see, institution has been graduated. There are so many graduates who have been, even people having masters, but they are unemployed. So this time the country will be knowing how many people who are unemployed but have qualification and the type of qualification. So it is very, very important that we get counted, so that they know where we are and what are we. Secondly, how would we survive? People, the nature of poverty, like our parish development model was inclined much on the parish revolving fund, was inclined so much on the poverty level. So how would we track those people where they are and how they are? So, and also parish development model has pillars. All the pillars will be implemented, as we say that now government, the national development plan is going to be put at the district level as the district development plan, 5-year development plan. Then from there as sub-county development plan. As we are implementing, even the parishes, like National Planning Authority is coming up with a parish action plan. This morning we are talking about, as you are coming for census, how would you also handle this? So I'm happy that even GIZ is piloting Wakiso to ensure that parishes have parish action plan, so that if all local government ensure that their people are counted, they will be given those capacity to plan and also implement government program. Because we implement most of the government program, we don't implement them in the ministry. We don't implement them at the district. We implement them at the parish level. Second and last, which is the very most important thing, which the president emphasized, is the services, where people get the services, which kind of services. People complain that there are no drugs in the hospitals and health facilities, or there are no maternity leave or beds, but when actually we don't know the catchment area of those people. So the president emphasized that where do we get the services? So this time all leaders by structure will be knowing where we are getting the services. Secondly, not only the services in terms of hospital, even schools. If we ask now, how many children, teacher people ratio do we have? We are looking at the number of teachers. People say that they are not teachers. When actually we ask them, how many teachers do you want? We want to know how much. So this time, they will be knowing that these schools, because also we shall count institutions and have facilities.
Both private and government?
Exactly. So even is a source of safe water, water points, even the roads, we shall be knowing that which kind of service delivered. Like people who complain that in a greater campus they don't have roads, or their roads are bad. So this, some of the information will be captured. So if the president says that we emphasize those 4 areas, I think the problem of the country will be handled.
Exactly.
So it's important to be counted. Whether you are a business community, whether you are a private person, whether you are a foreigner when you come, because when you come in, the reason why you are going to talk about foreigners, but they use our services. Like,
they go to our hospitals.
Yes,
they go
when they come, so they need our services. So that's why everybody who will sleep in the country, we know that these are the type of people, whether they have visited us only for day, and because today we are referring to that person, but another time it will be the same, another person from the same country or from abroad coming here, even if it will be not the same person. So we have to plan for them in advance.
Okay. Well, so I really see it is important for planning purposes, before we condemn the government, that there is no medicine in the health centers. They deliver the medicine, but the problem is they don't know for how many people. Now, this is the opportunity that the government can know that in that health center, this health center houses this number of people, and yeah, I believe this is a very good initiative. Now, we talk about foreigners. We've seen very many people claiming to be left out in very many programs. They cannot register for national IDs, they cannot get passports, even when they have lived in Uganda for some time. And we've seen very many activists fighting for their rights. But we also have the foreigners we are talking about. Someone has come in as a tourist. Their census night finds them in Uganda. They're going to be counted in Uganda, but of course you said it is they might be a representation of someone else will come after them next year or the other year, or after 3 weeks or after 4 months. Now, how are they going to be treated? I look at Chisenyi specifically, and the place where I grew up from, Zambia. When you go to Zambia, it is a place of Congolese and Sudanese, majorly. And when you go to Chisenyi, you may literally not find a Ugandan. They are majorly Somalis. So how are they going to be handled? Before
we talk about the foreigners, you've talked something so interesting. I want to emphasize that why people should be counted.
Yes.
When we are registering for national ID, some people were reluctant about national ID. Until they wanted to go to open bank accounts. That's when they realized the importance. When it came to voting, when you don't have a national ID, you can't vote. So sometimes they say political, but sometimes politics, because of people, they move hand in hand.
And I think today you cannot even access services in a government health center without a national ID.
We've not yet, but we may go there. Because where we are going, that everybody, because we wanted to see, even taking your children to school, you've seen that our children now are being identified based on the national ID of the parents.
Exactly.
So it's important to be counted so that we capture you. As we are going digital, the head teacher will just put in your name, and then all your details come. So even driving permits. So if you to register, you have to see that you are Ugandan, because Ugandans, if you are above 80, we expect to be having a national ID or registered as a Ugandan. So before we talk about the foreigners, it's important that the Ugandans are really be counted. So that we don't regret. I've seen that when we were recruiting, I never knew that Uganda have a lot of number of people who are not employed, and they are highly educated. But when they ask them that, in order to be a part of the census enumerators, you have to be with the national IDs, and many graduates didn't have them. Wow. So it's something important people should take serious. Back to the foreigners,
yes.
I'm happy that you've given a hint. But before reaching there, as Uganda is internationally is a country which is going to be housing refugees.
Yes.
Also, we are going to count refugees.
Okay.
Arrangement has been done in those refugee camps in collaboration with the Office of the Prime Minister to be counted. So those are foreigners. Also other foreigners that people will be who will have slept in Uganda at that reference time, the census night.
Someone is in a bus coming to Uganda from Tanzania.
Yes, and slept.
Yes.
The night found him or her in Uganda. Those will be counted, whether which country they are coming from, but it will be counted. So we have catered for them. Those are the foreigners we are talking about.
Okay.
We shall be whether they are reside in hostel or hotel. We shall. They already arrangement to count people who will be in hotels, who will have slept in hotels, lodges, even sleeping guest houses and so forth. Even I've already talked about the floating population who are not in homes but on verandas, including the muddy people.
We have a class of people, specifically at City House opposite here. They have what they call bed spaces on the building where around 10 people are renting in one room, but everyone is paying a bed space for only one bed, and they work in Nakasero. In which category do they fall, and how are they going to be counted?
I beg your pardon?
It is like a bed space. I mean, we came to know about this when the building caught fire. That their rooms, someone rents a room and buys beds. So young people come and they just buy a bed space. So you only pay your rent for only that bed, but the room houses more than 5 people, maybe. So how are these? Because it is not a formal guest house or lodge. How are these ones going to be counted, and in which category are they?
Yeah, those ones they are going to be in the category of institutions. We have institutions like bars. We have institutions like churches.
Okay.
We have the institution. Especially, let me focus more on bars and restaurants who make these people to stay at a job.
Yes.
But also those who are renting from a business building, their institutions, so they will be counted and also taken as households. Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, as we end this discussion, are there any foreseen challenges that you look out and say, okay, we know that this and this is foreseen and we expect it, but we already prepared for it?
Yes, first and foremost, as we are planning, we encourage so many people to be trained so that we pick those who qualify. And also we have reserve, because you never know, if you train enough exact people, some of them may pull out. So that now, even if they are pulled out, we have a required number. Major areas we've carried. The only challenge there that the people who are already there, screening and leaving out some, it has been a challenge, but God has helped us. We've reached where we wanted. Secondly, we plan to have everything as we require. This is a rainy season. And we planned that we shall buy umbrella and gumboots. But because of other priority which emerged, some of the resources focused more on that, especially feeding those people beyond their one numbers. We couldn't train them without, whether we shall use them or not. So the question on how our resources, we used to run generators. Most of the places we are using, you know, they were standard by gender. Those things have been hired throughout. So, and we requested our enumerators, and we've agreed that let us see that they can also, whereby if you have your own umbrella, you can call your own umbrella, so that we fail to supply umbrellas and gumboots. But other resources, we've tried to supply them. We've given them the tablets, the T-shirts, which will be identifying them, the required material, the booklets, because some of the institutions, they will be, for hotel, we shall give them their own questionnaires to fill in those people who have slept in the lodges and hotels. So all those materials have been delivered. Okay. But another issue has been the challenge of network. We are using especially our key major network stakeholders, MTN and Airtel. We find that some places they are more of Airtel and so. So imagine, see that the cards we are using, but we thank our IT officers. They have tried to harmonize that in support with the team from the UBOS and the Ministry of ICT. Whereby to the extent, last week I was in Nakaseke. To move from Nakaseke to a village called, a sub-county called Chinoni, it's over 80 kilometers. Deep there was totally no network. But this government, they went there, instead of constructing another mast, they just came and put a temporary mast. Within 2 days, internet was on. So we thank government of Uganda and all MDAs, whoever has been behind it. Our agent ministries, embassies, we already worked with embassies. We've trained their leaders who will be counting people in the embassies. We are making everybody inclusive. We are not leaving anybody behind. Security agencies, the People Defense Force, they have also self-accounting. We've trained their leaders. They will count themselves. Prison, we have been training them together with our local leaders and the police people, because some people will be arrested at this night and will sleep there. So police also, they have been trained to count those people. Even in prison where people are remanded, they also count those people. So everybody, we are sure that it will be counted.
Thank you so much, Mr. Galabuzi. In less than a minute, kindly re-echo your voice so that people can really embrace census as the enumerators kick off with the activity.
Thank you very much for this. As we are winding up, what we should emphasize, what is census night? Census night is the night whereby everybody, let me call it today, from now, if you are inside in that house, where the midnight 001 finds you, that's where we shall count that where you stayed in the country. However, the day for census, the D-Day, that is tennis, Friday, that's tomorrow at 10th May 2024, that's our census D-Day. We expect everybody to be at home. But the government has put there a provision. If we were not counted on that day, we have the entire 10 days. Make sure that you don't, if you miss the first day, that is 10th, on Friday, a public holiday, we have a Saturday. Saturday, we are aware some of our people, they don't want to be so much engaged, but again, we shall give them a chance to be counted on Sunday. Even Sunday, those who will be going to church and they are not at home, we shall meet them on Monday, Tuesday, up to next Sunday, which will be 19th May 2024. So let us use that opportunity to be counted. Make sure the number of benefits from being counted. Don't regret if you don't be counted.
Thank you so much, Mr. Galabuzi, and thank you so much to you, our viewer. And now, before we go, I want to remind you that it is now that the countdown for the National Housing and Population Census is over. I want to tell you that, yes, Mr. Galabuzi, you must be having something bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to leave this family TV before thanking the family TV staff, the directors who have given us this opportunity to be on this air. Secondly, starting tomorrow, I'll be mobilizing I'm in charge of Buganda North and Buganda South. I'll be mobilizing Buganda South. I'm meeting the West Buganda, Central Buganda, that is the districts in Mpigi, Masaka, Sembabule, Lwengo, Lakai, Kyotera, among others. So that's where we shall be meeting bishops, religious leaders, and all technical people, including politicians, to see how the things are moving. We shall be working but for us, we are monitoring. Monitoring means doing monitoring and corrective action. Yes. So we are more than 100 ready, and I'm not alone. UBOS made residential technical staff in every local government in Uganda, including municipalities, who are supporting these people. We are there 24 hours. And I pray for them that they will be also counted where they slept, not coming back to leave a job. So I thank you. We thank you the endeavors which you have been, and we pray that by 20 years, by 19th, census will be done. And another message from the ED promised people that by June, there will be provision results because we are digital. And by December 2024, full report will be there. Everybody will know all information about their people, so that when the political leaders are planning, they will be based on informed based data.
Thank you so much, Mr. Galabuzi. And I was saying that now that the countdown for census is over, we have a countdown for the Uganda Matters Day, which is happening on the 3rd of June. We are left with 25 days. Just to remind you that for the Anglican Matters celebrations this year are spearheaded by the Midwest cluster. So our brothers, the Banyoro, Batoro, Bakonjo, and all those others are spearheading the organizations. They have a fully packed program starting from the 26th of May to the 3rd of June, which you do not have to miss out. We shall be bringing you more highlights on this day as in our upcoming programs and events. Edwin Austin Mkalas is my name. I've worked with Brinko, Ategeka, and Mohumuza, Jonan, the producer, and very many other people putting things together to see that you have this show. Next is Soul Moment, but allow us to say good night from the entire team.
Family Hour, empowering family.